play? Let's hang, let's chill, throw some meat on the grill. Tell us the updates while heavy lifts weight. G-Cloud and the leads to tell us of mighty deeds. Office hours is today. What's the alpha? What's the play? New things we may learn. For max fees we earn. One thing you can be sure, the LP army will endure. G-Cloud and the leads to tell us of mighty deeds. Office hours is today. What's the alpha? What's the play? New things we may learn. For max fees we earn. One thing you can be sure, the LP army will endure. G-Cloud and the leads to tell us of mighty deeds. Office hours is today. What's the alpha? What's the
All right. G-Met, everybody.
G-Met.
Thanks for the new song there, HMC. That's pretty fucking awesome, man.
Glad you liked it, man.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. G-Met, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. We're just going to hang out here for probably about an hour because we got boot camp day 2 coming up in an hour and a half. So, we'll need a little break in between, get prepared to teach you guys some more LPing and get some roles for some more folks. Really looking forward to the next cohort coming up and seeing what you guys got. So I think I saw maybe 4,000 people I think at one point watching the stream yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't check and see how many were out on X, but yeah, we had a really great showing. We had a lot of people for the Turkish boot camp. There was about 10K watching day 1 and about the same for day 2.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty cool.
They finished up last weekend, right?
Yeah. In fact, those forms close today. It would be 10 p.m. UTC. So if you were did Turkish boot camp, that's how much time you got left. Those forms will close, and after they close, that's that.
What kind of count are you getting on the submissions?
Well, let me pull that up.
Curious.
Yep. Let's see.
Hey, Yusuf, G-Met, what's going on?
G-Met, Yusuf. So for day 1, for the Turkish boot camp, there's 716 responses.
All right.
And for day 2, 660. So
all right.
It's a nice showing, man.
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, Spanish was about 200 graduates. They're making you look bad, Gabe.
Yeah, I know, man. They're making me look really bad.
We'll have another one.
Get more Latinos out there.
It'll be even bigger next time, man. I'm sure.
Yeah. I gotta hop onto that Colombian podcast. Been trying to coordinate with them to do another session with them. So hopefully we can do that soon.
Yeah, for real.
Portuguese coming up.
Yeah, Portuguese boot camp coming up. It's going to be in the middle of the week. They did that because apparently it's like Brazil. The culture is you don't do things on the weekend. You party on the weekend. So that's
Makes sense.
yeah, that's going to be, let's see, where to put that. February 19th and 20th from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. UTC. All that's in the announcements. So it's going to be cool for them. That's 4 boot camps this month, man. It's crazy. We also, of course, we got French
I guess
happening.
the folks in Portugal are gonna have to stay up late for that one.
Yeah. Somebody likes your jersey, Yusuf. What is that?
You're on mute.
You're on mute, Yusuf. There we go. Try that out. Nope. Let's see. How about now?
Can you hear me now?
No, you probably have the wrong device selected in your audio settings. All right.
Well, anyway.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
There we go.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I just select my my earbuds, my Bluetooth earbuds. But yeah, so you asked about the jersey?
Yeah.
I got it from my friend actually, and I'm literally just about to meet him like in 20 minutes. It's a Bosnian shirt. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's their national team.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bosnia.
Yeah, Bosnia.
Okay.
Very cool. Very cool.
If someone's got a boot camp question, can someone still be an LP without doing a boot camp? I mean, you can LP. You don't have to
absolutely
boot camp to provide liquidity. You can do it all you want. You won't get a roll, but yeah, it's. I mean, the point of boot camp is to educate you. It's not. The point is not the roll. It's about the education. That's what it's all about. So, if you don't care about doing that, that's fine. You just want to learn how to LP, cool. It's fine. Boot camp exists because, LPing is it's not like trading. It's a lot more complex, and we want to help. We want to grow the LP army. We want to grow Meteora, and a great way to do that is to educate people on how to do it. And it's going to be free. We're going to keep doing it every single month till who knows when. Yeah, I mean, and it's always free, man. If someone is asking you to pay for a course, don't do it.
Yeah. We got a little bit of an update in the app this week. Couple of nice little quality of life things. Let me pull it up. Pull up the app. Share my screen here. Give me a minute. And we'll just kind of show you guys what's new. Some of you may have already noticed it. So, a couple of really nice things here in the pools page. We've got now a couple of drop downs, right? So now you can select the daily volume, and then over here you can select the fee over TVL APR, and you can do different time frames, right? I always, I like to look at the smallest increment, the most recent increment, right, past 30 minutes. So that's a really nice feature. Something else here. Let's just pop into one of my pools here. Go into JLP USDC. So this is a pool. This is a bigger pool that I'm in. But so another nice new feature. If you hover over one of these cards, you can switch. You'll see a little pop-up says switch to Sol. And then boom, you can see your total liquidity in Sol, your fees earned in Sol. Down here, your fees earned in Sol. So that's a really nice little feature, especially if you're more interested in knowing what your totals are in Sol instead of USDC. Very, very nice. And then another nice new feature when you go to open a new position, they've changed the section down here that shows the cost details. So now you'll see both refundable and non-refundable without having to expand the details or view the details. You can still click on it, and then instead of expanding a section, it does a little modal here that provides the details. So like let's do a position where we're going to have to pay non-refundable fees. So now if you're in a range where no one else has provided liquidity before, you're going to have to pay for bin arrays, and you'll see that down here in the non-refundable section. And then you can click on that, and then you can view all the details, right? So it tells you here, 18 positions, 1,177 bins, and then you got to buy 8 new bin arrays, and that's non-refundable. So that's another really nice new feature. So a couple of things, teams have been shipping. Who knows? Nobody knows. Probably not. You're talking on mute, by the way, HMC.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect that. Nobody said that, yeah, there's going to be an airdrop for that. If there is, it's news to me.
Crypto mining turtle.
Yeah.
Another one looking forward to day 2. I'm looking forward to day 2.
Right on.
It's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir. People have questions about something. You feel free.
Yeah.
There.
Let's see what questions. Yeah. Bin steps is tricky. I was actually talking about it in the sort of the post session we had yesterday on the in the stage in the Discord. We can talk about that a little bit right now too.
Actually, let me pull something up on that.
Okay, let's do it.
Give me just a second. Let me find where I put that. Here. Okay, where'd I put it? Okay, let me do this a different way.
Photon Magic's here. What's going on, buddy?
Photon.
Good, man. Good morning to everyone, or good afternoon if you're somewhere else.
And good evening to our friends in the East and Asia.
Yeah, in Europe.
Okay. There we go. Open.
Yeah, that stop loss feature has been requested by a lot of people. It's just not that easy to implement.
Yeah, the problem with that is really the infrastructure costs, because you'd have to monitor a lot of positions, and you're going to need a lot of compute. You're going to need to track a lot of data. But there are some tools out there that have that sort of thing, like Hawkfi.
Okay. Oh, let me see if I can.
I wish there was a simple way to explain bins.
That banner's like right on my face, man. Nobody can see me.
Well, turn it off.
I'm still here, guys. I promise.
Yeah, let me turn it off.
I haven't gone anywhere. There
Okay.
we go. That's better.
All right. So bins. This is not zooming in the way I want it to. We'll just do it this way. Okay. So bins are a single container that hold liquidity. Okay, so it can hold nothing. It can hold one token. It can hold two tokens. And so whenever you deposit liquidity into a bin, whether it's one or both, that bin, which exists on the blockchain, it's not just your bin. All liquidity in that pool at that specific price point is deposited within that bin. So the bin can hold an infinite number of tokens, right? So like in this particular one, this active bin, this is the current price for this pool. It's holding some of this token and some of that token. So you are, when swaps come through that pool, it's changing one token for another, and you are collecting fees on your portion of that. So it's like everybody, it's distributed, the swap, it gets distributed amongst everybody. So the more liquidity you have in a particular bin, the more you're going to get in fees out of that. So let's see. So it's combined with all others in the pool. Let's see, what else can we say? So in bin steps, so that's the difference between in price from one bin to another. This particular one, it's a one bin step, so it's very, very small. See 1.003 here, and then the next bin over is 1.004. So it's a very small leap from this to this bin. So when trading happens in this, when all of this token, or when all of the purple token here gets turned into the other, then the price is going to move to the next bin. Once it's all swapped for the other, that's when it can move to the next bin. It won't until all of it is. Now, swaps can happen back and forth within this bin. It can be traded for this one, it could be traded for that one, so long as there's liquidity within the bin to accommodate the trade. Okay. So
And there's zero slippage when that's happening, right? So
right.
if the bin has a lot of liquidity, you could end up with a lot of swaps happening within that bin, and the price never moves. The price is going to stay within that bin. So in high, pools with a lot of liquidity, you'll see that happen. Like the price doesn't change, and you'll see a lot of swaps happening within the same bin, especially these really small bin step pools like this one.
Yeah.
And the bin step is basis points, right? So one bin step
right.
pool, like the one that HMC is showing there, is one basis point, one bin step. So that means the difference in price is 0.0001%, right? One basis point is 1/100th of 1%. So if you're in a 100 bin step pool, then the difference between prices is going to be 1%. So that's a larger bin step. You're going to have a larger increase or decrease in price, a difference of 1% between the bins.
So better every day. Did we answer your question? And this document is actually the latest version of the bootcamp resources, and I'll get that posted in the bootcamp channel. I'll pin it for anybody to be able to access it. There's a little bit more detail written out on these here, but I don't know if we answered that well enough. A good bin step when you create the first pool of a new token. Okay, so first I'll say that if you're brand new to LP, I don't recommend you do that. But once you're comfortable with doing that, the answer is it depends. It depends on the token. If we're talking about a brand new meme, whatever the latest rug is, you're probably going to want to go with a higher bin step and a higher fee. Common, you'll see the first pool will be something like 200, 250, and a 5% pool. That's very common to see. Because when it's brand new, there can be a lot of volatility, major price swing, and you're going to want to get that high fee to offset impermanent losses there. As time goes on and it settles down and more pools across other protocols show up, you may need to move down to a smaller bin step, like a 100 2% or a 100 1% pool. And the really gutsy one is the 20 bin step. It's not, you don't want to start there at all. And that's really like, you can get wrecked fast in that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're asking the question, then you're probably not experienced enough to be opening up your own pools. So, to HMC's earlier point, I wouldn't recommend creating brand new pools on brand new tokens, especially if you're pretty new to LPing. What I would do is just keep an eye out when a new token comes to see what pools have already been created, and then jump into those pools if you're feeling gutsy, right? But you want to, for a brand new token, especially if it's really volatile, you want to go into a high bin step pool.
Now, if it was like, say, a project token or whatever, or when Coinbase BTC came out, paired with WBTC, that's a pair that's really, it should be, is
Highly correlated.
Yeah, highly correlated. So it's basically a stable. We went with very low bin steps with that, very small, because otherwise you wouldn't get the trades. And I mean, well, you wouldn't get enough trades. So
Yeah.
you will see, like with USDC, USDT, that 100 bin step pool is not getting volume. It's the one bin step, those really small ones that are going to get the volume, because there's too many other pools out there in existence. There's not a lot of volatility. Most of the trading is going to happen in a very tight range.
I would say CBTC is very much an exception to the rule, because there's not like a lot of new stables coming out. I mean, there's LSTs. So LST, yeah, you would want to go into a small bin step pool. But for a meme token, anything like that, any new token that's a meme token, even a project token, unless it's a stable that's pegged to an existing asset, like maybe a new ETH stable or something like that, then yeah, you can go with the small bin step. But for the most part, you're going to be probably starting off in very high bin steps.
Yeah, and like certain project tokens, something that's kind of long term, it doesn't move a lot, it's not traded a lot, but it can still swing. That's where, like, I go with like a 50 bin step, and a 0.4 or something like that. But those are a whole lot less common than others. Yeah, we actually did one advanced boot camp. You can find the video on YouTube. It's all about pool creation. If you're interested in learning about that, it's out there. So yeah.
I mean, maybe I could also add that, within the LP alpha sessions as well, like we do sometimes, I mean, we do cover a lot about, choosing the right pool for a given token, the different parameters you need to take in mind before you open a position in a specific pool. And that also covers a lot of these topics that, Heavyman just went through, about bin steps and all that. But on that note, I may have to go now, guys. So because
No problem,
yeah,
Yusuf.
I need to meet my friend.
Take care, buddy.
Yeah. See you guys
Thanks for coming.
Have a good day.
anytime. Bye bye.
So what a lower bin step will concentrate. If you just think about that, a larger bin step.
Sorry. Actually, the concentration is the same because the concentration is at that specific price point. So if you put $1 million at a bin step or at a price of 1 in a 100 bin step, and you put $1 million at a price of 1 in a 1 bin step, the concentration is exactly the same
Right. You're talking about a single bin, though.
in a single bin.
If you're looking at the perspective of just say full range 69 bins, if you've got if you put in 1 soul into 100 bin step 69, you're covering a much wider range,
Yes.
right? So that soul, you've got less soul in all the bins spread across.
Yes.
Versus a 5 bin step, you're getting a smaller price range. You've got 69 bins,
Right.
but there's more soul per bin.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be more concentrated in the lower. If you're talking about the same number of bins, 69 bins, then yes, it's going to be more concentrated in a smaller bin step because you're going to cover your liquidity. Your liquidity is going to be in a much narrower range.
Yes, you can set up 20 bins. You can have anywhere between 1 and 69 bins in a single position.
That's right.
So here's someone asking Met points. So the point system is really simple. All pools earn points. Vaults and farms and meme 3-3 staking do not earn points. It's $1 per, or it's 1 point per $1 of TVL per day, and it's 1,000 points per $1 of fees earned. That's it. It's no any more complicated than that. Everything is being counted on the back end. There is no official dashboard. There's community tools that can count the DLMM. It's an estimate. That's it.
The other thing I'll say about the points is that nobody knows how many points is going to equal how many MET tokens. There's no tokenomics yet, so it could 1,000 points could result in 0.00000001 MET, but we don't know that, or it could be worth 1 MET. Who the hell knows, right? Nobody knows yet. We don't even know what the total supply is going to be yet. So, but the more points you earn, the more you're going to get allocated towards you. We just don't know we don't know what that's total distribution is going to be like. We don't have any tokenomics on it yet. We don't know when there's going to be any tokenomics on it yet. So it'll be some point between now and 2099 probably.
Okay.
So
so here, other than me, what other pools could give decent fees? Well, and that answer also, it depends. It depends on what's happening in the market at any given moment. For example, a JLP USDC or JLP Sol, it may be trading wildly or a lot on one particular day, and not so much on another. I used to do a lot of USDC, USDT, and you would see some days where, you know, I'd have like $2,000 worth of liquidity in there and I'd make $1. And then other days I'd wake up and I've made $20 because for whatever reason, that was really trading that particular day. I know a lot of people like to do Sol USDC, and they'll make some money off of that one. Hopefully Solana's not dumping whenever you choose to do it, but some people do make some good money off of that. It's not going to be as much, but really you kind of have to look at the market to see what's happening.
Yeah, I like JLP Sol because it tends to always have a lot of volume, and because they're highly correlated, you know, you don't get a lot of impermanent loss.
And it does have that tendency to be like the trend is up on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
The nature of what JLP is, the nature of that token is up.
And the nice thing is if Sol pumps, JLP is going to pump with it, right? You will get impermanent loss where you'll end up with mostly just JLP, but your overall value of your position is going to go up versus USD. So this is a good question here. So Bubble Boy is having trouble creating new bins for new runners because the price is fluctuating too much. So he's asking if there's any innovations to make this process more efficient. Well, basically that is a sign that you need to go to a higher bin step. So if the price is just going like really, really crazy, you probably want to go into a higher bin step because then you can, you know, cover a wider range with a single position versus having to kind of chase the price and keep opening up. And then the other thing is you may have to open up new bin arrays, right? If you're in a pretty new token and you get to a point where it's never traded in that range, that's another problem. If you're in these small bin step pools, you're gonna have to spend a lot of Sol to open up new bin arrays. So if you find yourself in that situation, it's probably an indicator that you need to go into a higher bin step so that you can cover a wider range with your liquidity.
Well, actually, and show another trick that you can do here. Let's see this particular one here. So, what the pool is doesn't matter. You can change your liquidity slippage here. So if you're having trouble landing because that token is moving very wildly, if you're having trouble landing, getting it to deposit, you can change your liquidity slippage to a higher point. You know, these are some of the defaults here. That's pretty small. If it's moving really wild, you may need to bump it up. I know some degens that go as high as 50%. You may not want that. Set it to whatever you need it to be to get it to work.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Get it to land. Yeah.
That's a good point, KG. I love it.
Yep. Same.
And that, you know, a lot of us here, maybe all of us here, you know, came for the points, stayed for the fees, right? That's kind of been our motto is, you know, people came to farm points, but then they realized, shit, man, I'm making money here. I'm gonna stick around for the fees.
I came for the fees.
Yeah. sure.
I did. I didn't even know about points. I was like, yeah, you know, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
That's just a cherry on top. Disadvantages of a low bin step for a new meme coin.
Yeah. So I talked a little bit about this, right? So low bin step for a meme coin, you're gonna have to open up a lot of bin arrays, and you're gonna spend a lot of Sol opening up all those bin arrays, and you're probably never gonna make it back on the fees. I mean, unless you're putting in, you know, hundreds of thousands or millions in liquidity. So that's a big disadvantage of a low bin step for a new meme pool, is because these memes, they can move, they can drop 70, 80, 90%, or they can pump, 200, 300 thousands of percents, right? And if you're trying to do that in a one bin step pool, you're gonna have to spend hundreds in Sol to open up all those bin arrays, and you're gonna have to manage a shit ton of positions. So that's the disadvantage of using small bin steps for new meme coins.
Actually, from perspective of team developer, as he commented, there may be like people may be reluctant to put long positions up in the pool, and there can be no liquidity up for a coin, like if you have a really small bin arrays and small bin steps. So at some point, I don't think it really can happen. But theoretically, you can have a coin which has no liquidity upwards, and there's no kind of, if you're launching through DLMM, which is rare, but if you do decide to do this, you can be in a situation with no coin to buy, basically. But I don't think that's practically will happen, but still.
Yeah. So does it impact the trading of the coin? I mean, not really. I mean, unless it's a lot of liquidity, you're not going to have any impact on trading of the coin. You'd have to have a lot of liquidity to impact it. And really, it's not going to, the liquidity doesn't impact the trading of the coin. It's well, I guess in part it does, but it's the demand for it, right? It's the demand relative to the amount of liquidity being provided. So these early meme coins, especially when they first launch, there's a lot of demand and there's not a lot of liquidity. So that's why the DLMM does so well, because there's a lot of trading and a lot of price action going on. So that's why, a lot of folks do quite well with these meme coins in the DLMM, because there's just not a lot of liquidity on those coins relative to the demand. Of course, once that demand drops off, nobody's trading the coin anymore, then it really doesn't matter how much liquidity you have. There's just nothing's going to happen. The price isn't going to move because nobody's buying it.
Now, there is another scenario to consider. So, in order for the price in a pool to move, there must be liquidity at these prices for it to move to. Okay. So if you went with a very small bin step and you are only covering a small range, if that token really dumps or really pumps and there's no liquidity there at the market price, it's going to get stuck. It runs out of road and it stops until more liquidity is added at those price points. So you'll see pools sometimes get out of sync because there's nowhere for it to move to. It can't move to the market price without liquidity being there. That's if you look at, say you look at a token and you may see a list of pools on various markets, whether it's Orca, Radium, Meteora, whatever, you'll see that all these pools, like there's a slight difference in the price points, and it's all dependent upon swaps going through these various pools in order for those prices to move. So yeah.
Yep. And then sometimes you'll see some that have just like a small amount of liquidity and no volume, and that's because to HSC's point, the price got stuck there and it's no longer in sync with the market price, so there's no swaps going through it.
I think Just is my twin, because this is literally me. I was doing ETH chain and got on Avalanche doing Trader Joe, which is like, it was like the first type of DLMM I ever saw, though it was terrible.
CLMM.
Well, no, Trader Joe is like the DLMM. It has
but they don't have dynamic fees.
Right. Yes, correct.
So.
But and I hated it. I got out, and I
Yeah,
came
just not enough
over.
volume over there for it to be worthwhile.
Yeah, I made 23 cents off of a pool. It was awesome. And then yeah, I mean, I came over and I tried some other protocols and had a bad time, and I got into Meteora, and I was like, oh, this is the bomb. So yeah, that's where I got to. Growing my jute bag, just claiming the fees, then using the sol fees to do the same with Camino and use Camino stacks.
There you
Was
go.
definitely one way to do it. You know,
Yep.
it was fun at Castanbull. We bought a bunch of jupe at low prices at night, and then the next day when Meow was getting up on stage and he's talking about all the things with jupe, you know, the buybacks and the burn and all these things. We had set up bid asks at higher price points, just waiting. And as he talked, man, you just watched the things pump. We
Yep.
made sacks of money. Just
Good
thanks,
stuff.
Meow.
Good stuff. That's really it. I mean, that's the key, right? Volume, liquidity, and it changes, right? It changes over time. So, you know, when you first get in, there might be really good, you know, volume, really good fees, and then after some period of time, that's gonna change. So it's all about, you know, timing and playing that game, and it takes time. I really kind of suck at LPing. Most of my LPing, I do most of my bags. I've got in JLP and JLP Sol or JLP USDC. You know, it's easy to swing trade. Basically, you know, just set up bid asks, and when the price moves a little bit, just shift it and get ready for it to go back the other way, because it oscillates pretty nicely, and it, you know, it's kind of a low maintenance sort of a way to do LPing, because I don't have the time to sit here and watch these meme coins, and you know, I've tried it and I don't do very well with it, and see, my win rate is really really shitty when it comes to LPing the meme coins, but you know, I keep messing around with JLP Sol, and that's a really good one to print some good fees, and you don't have a lot of impermanent loss, and then swing trading JLP against USDC to buy more of it when the price dumps, and then sell it when it pumps.
Which decision information decks do you use to decide entry to a pool? I like GMGN.ai. That's my
Yeah.
favorite.
I mean, there's a lot of good tools out there. Metlex has some really nice
Yep.
filtering built into it.
That's a great one.
Deck
Especially-
Screener, you can just
yeah.
look at, you know, coins that have good volume. There's a lot of bots. There's my opportunity bot, which I guess, you know, give you guys a little bit of alpha. I gave some of this alpha yesterday during the community call we had in the Discord. Been working with KV. He's a community member working on a tool to build time series data of the TVL liquidity. I'm sorry, the fees over the TVL, right? Because you look at fees over TVL, you look at the fees over 24-hour fees over TVL. The problem is that the denominator in that, the liquidity, it's only what the current liquidity is, right? And liquidity fluctuates a lot over time. So what I've been working with KV is to develop time series data on it, so that way you can see and calculate averages based on a period of time, right? Because the liquidity could be 5,000 in 1 minute, it could be 2,000 for the next 3 minutes, it could go up to 10,000 the next 5 minutes. So at any given point, you look at that 24-hour fee over TVL, and it's not going to be indicative of what's going on with with that particular pool, but you look at the trend over time and you can kind of see what the average liquidity has been. So you look at the fees over average liquidity over that period of time and then project it over 24 hours, and you're probably going to get a slightly more accurate measurement. So we've been working on this in a separate repo from my opportunity bot, and eventually I want to make this kind of like the back end for the opportunity bot. So more to come on that. I'll probably post a tweet about it today with a link to the repo, and we're open sourcing it. So I want other people to use this with their other tools and build on top of it.
Math. There are people who still say that LP is easy.
Definitely a lot of math to it for sure. Any other questions?
I think some people don't understand that the platform is permissionless. So they
Hey,
just
hey, Harry, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
About is there some kind of a new form where you ask questions, like about the first day, or someone is confused, like someone is asking me, and I think we're confusing things that I'm not sure.
Are you talking about the boot camp?
Yes. I'm sorry to ask this here. Just the guy is really trying to get it out of me, and I don't know. I'm not up to date on this.
I mean, the boot camp channel is definitely a great place to ask questions about the boot camp. I don't know that HMC, we don't have any kind of forum that we provide for questions afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Just the Discord channel.
Okay, thank you. Someone is trying to really hard to ask me about dynamic pools, and then just, like it seems like he's trying to fill some kind of form. I don't know what he's doing. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
my
no.
bad.
Yeah, no.
Just confirming.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a good question. No, we don't have any forum for
Nice crypto mining turtle. That's good.
that. Glad to hear it.
What's more important, data for fees, 24-hour volume or volatility, or both? Well, it's kind of both. You want the volume because that means you're getting more trades. Whenever you're not getting volume, well, it just kind of sits there.
Yeah.
I like volatility because the more volatility there is, the higher the dynamic fees go. So that's if you get both, you are winning.
The only thing is if it's dumping and there's high volume on a dump, that's the situation you don't want to be in, because sure, there's volume, but you're going to experience a lot of impermanent loss because it's just down only. Going wide with your range in a bid ask can help to offset that, but you want to see oscillation, right? You want to see it go down, you want to see it come back up, right? Because as long as it's always coming back up, then that's going to help minimize your impermanent loss. If it's only going down, then you're going to have heavy IL.
Heavy. So here's a tool that can show real-time P&L. Well, lp4fun.vercel.app. It will show you that in Sol, not USDC, but it'll show it to you in Sol. I think there's some others like out there, some other community tools that not everybody can access yet, like Ultra LP. Is that one of them?
Ultra LP is really good. Yeah, we had a really good call with those guys last weekend. Really sharp team, really great tool. If you go to their X, you can try to get into their private beta. And it's a really nice tool, a lot of nice features.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true.
I know some people that get into a pool and they'll be there for 30 seconds and they'll rip out money and
Scalp
leave
it and then go.
yeah, call it done.
Yep, for sure.
Okay.
Are you doing anti-sawtooth?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
A lot of people are using that strategy. Basically, you're opening a wide position across multiple positions and doing it in a bid ask. And then so what happens is you end up with this sawtooth pattern, right? And the sawtooths get bigger and bigger and bigger as you go lower in range or higher in range, depending on which way you're doing it. Most people are doing it one-sided with SOL. And so each of those sawtooths gets larger and larger as the price goes down.
30 seconds enough. Close the day and grab a beer. Heck yeah. Here's a fun one. Initially provided liquidity and dealing minimum for some coins, but have faced difficulties with rebalancing. Question is, what's the best strategy for rebalancing in the dealing minimum? I usually remove my liquidity and reposition it within a different range. Are there better alternatives? Well, so the first thing that you need to keep in mind is when you are out of range, you're in full impermanent loss here, right? Whether that's on the upside or the downside. The upside, usually that's okay. Say you've traded all your meme for SOL, and that's great. I call that a win. You're going to be in profit. If it goes down, then you are down. And if you withdraw and close that position, you've just made your impermanent loss permanent. If you reposition it lower, maybe if it ranges enough down there, you will earn enough fees to overcome those losses. There's no guarantee of that. What a lot of people do is, and what I like to frequently do is, if I think that token will come back where there's a fair enough chance for it to come back, I will leave that liquidity right where it is. And if I want to try and earn some more fees, I will set up a one-sided bid ask SOL lower, just going down to
kind of double downing on it, doing double down. Yep.
Yeah, double down on it. I mean, it doesn't always work, but that's kind of the idea, that you get some more, and but hopefully you get that pump. So it's really kind of a question is, what do you think that token's going to do? It's a gamble for sure. No matter which way you go, because you can estimate, but you can't know.
Another thing you can do is you can stretch your liquidity out more, right? So if the price has gone down on you, you can remove the liquidity and then go one-sided from the current price, but instead of going up to where you were, go up even higher, so that way you give yourself more room to get some upside, and then try to get back to your original position, your original amount. So I've actually been wanting to create a bot to do this, right? I call it the accordion strategy, right? So you can start with a really tight range, and then if it drops on you, you expand your liquidity, right? So you expand now to the new lower price, but then you've got room to get back up on the higher price. And then if it does go all the way back up to the top of that range, you've basically preserved your capital, right? You're back up to your starting point, and on top of that, you've kept all the fees that you earned during that period. At some point, I really want to develop a bot to do this accordion strategy.
Yeah. So yeah, Jet Ninja, I'm glad that worked out for you. That's awesome. It's a good strategy. We are
coming up
yeah.
the bottom of the hour. Got to get ready for boot camp soon. I think I'm gonna take my morning walk real quick before boot camp starts, so I can get the blood flowing and be ready for boot camp.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right. Another good
guys.
office hours.
Yep.
It's been fun.
Yep.
Thank you for joining, everybody.
Yes, thanks for coming, guys. Gosha, Photon, thanks for joining us.
And
Thank you for the session.
Yes, sir.
yeah, and we'll probably see you guys in boot camp. And anybody out there who's watching us, feel free to join us for boot camp today. HMC is going to get it done.
That's right. We'll get it done.
All right.
We'll go out with a chill song today.
All right, let's do it.
See you guys.
Yeah. In a pool of Meteora, watch me swim, swap a bed, I just keep it going. I'm kinda like I'm reading orders. Depth pool, got a fight in it full of high hopes. Look at my flow, DLM man, keep it liquid, it's never not so. Harder like whoa, talking about slippers, bro, I don't even know that hoe. Easy in this pizza, they get fees, a little bacon, start the vault until the cheese is done. Fools are paying me like I don't even go to beach, I'd rather be here on a feed or something. Best believe it's decent, wavy man, I see secret chillin' in the deep end. Every week and weekend, see me, you can depend on it, cause I mean it. Coming up, you can even find a way to flood it up. You done enough, 10% stimulate and run it up. Point system looking like a flying where they won't miss a solid contribution. Could've pointed out enough. I met up with Matt, had a really good chat. He's telling me bet LP Army does laps, that orbit does this media's headed when no one's expecting and we watching it happen, hey. In a pool of Meteora, watch me swim, swap a bed, I just keep it going. I'm kinda like I'm reading orders. Depth pool, got a fight in it full of high hopes. Look at my flow, DLM man, keep it liquid, it's never not so. Harder like whoa, talking about slippers,